Good morning. Happy Friday before a holiday weekend. I don't even know what to do. I'm so excited because we're getting off at noon today and I don't have to go back to work till Tuesday. So, first of all, I forgot to tell you about why Josh called me yesterday morning. Not yesterday, Wednesday morning, other than just to say he was 10 minutes away. He said, I just wanted to. I told y'all he's a big country boy, farm strong. He said, I just want to give you a heads up so you don't shoot me when I get there. I said, look, I do allow people a few seconds to identify themselves before I just start pow-powing them, okay? I'll give you a few seconds to be like, I come in peace. I come in. Anyway, that reminded me of another story. So back when I lived at the townhouse, I lived in the city. And sometimes cities can be a little bit more dangerous than the suburbs. Is that right? Rural suburbs? Yeah, I guess. Urban, rural, suburbs. I guess I'm in the burbs. I don't know. Anyway, but that's not why I carried when I lived over there, okay? And by carried, you know what I mean, right? But I carried because of coyotes. So if I walked out in the middle of the day, I probably didn't carry over there because I usually went across the street to the Kroger Shopping Center and we walked down the sidewalk, the long sidewalk, and then we'd circle around behind the building or we'd start from this way and circle around and come back this way, whatever. Charlie was a big time walker and he had a lot of energy. And I got a dog so I would get out and walk every day. So my purpose for having a dog was to get out and walk. So when people say, you've got a fenced in yard, why don't you just let him out there? Well, I need to get out and walk. I do. I think everybody needs to, who has the ability, get outside and breathe in some fresh air and soak up some vitamin D from the sun and, walk. Get your heart rate up a little bit. I don't get my heart rate up anymore because they're too slow. But that's another story entirely. But anyway, this one day, I go across the street to the Kroger Shopping Center. Now, back in the day, Charlie was a little pistol, okay? I know it seems hard to believe right now because he's such a sweet angel, and he has always been a sweet angel, but he didn't like little kids. And sometimes he didn't like the bigger kids if they were a little hyper. He didn't like anything running towards him in an excited manner, okay? He didn't like it. He didn't like bicycles, motorcycles, skateboards, lawnmowers, weed eaters, blowers. He didn't like any of that. Vacuum cleaners, he didn't like that. I guess it's the Chihuahua in him, my 30-pound Chihuahua. Anyway, so there was a Mexican restaurant that sat on the end of this shopping center, okay? And the whole outside of the shop or the restaurant was lined with windows, and you could go in there and sit. I may have done that a time or 12 or 30 or more times than I can count because I could have me a big old margarita and walk across the street and be home. So anyway, we come down by the Mexican restaurant and we turn to go back behind the building. Well, I hear somebody yell something like, give me all your money. Something like along those lines. The way this person said it did not scare me because it was kind of a jovial, give me all your money. You know what I'm saying? So I just turned around to see who it was because I know a lot of people in Marietta. I know a lot of people in Cobb County. So I first identify before I freak out. So I turn around and I see that it's a friend of mine's son. Now, he's grown now. He's in the Army. He's doing very well in the Army. I mean, he's climbing the Army ladder. And he also had his little brother. Now, his little brother, he was probably 8, okay? And I was more concerned about the little boy and Charlie, not Nathan, okay? I already identified Nathan. Now I'm moving on to the child and Charlie. And I'm trying to formulate in my mind in a matter of a few seconds, what do I need to do Nathan all of a sudden goes, she's probably armed. She's probably carrying. She works for the sheriff's office. And he's telling his little brother, which I can't remember his name right now, because he was a brother from another mother. I didn't know that mother. I knew his father. His father and I worked together at the sheriff's office, and his mother and I worked not really together at the sheriff's office, but she worked uptown, and I talked to her every day, and she made fun of the way I said heel. But anyway, that's another story too. But his mom and I became friends, even though she made fun of the way I say heel. Nathan is going, she's armed. I just said, give me all your money. She's in a panic. She's going to shoot us. And I'm going, I need to keep that child away from my dog. So there's a whole lot of thoughts going on between Nathan and I, and the child's just looking at the dog, and the dog's just looking at the child. Anyway, he's telling his brother, get back, get back, get back. And I'm like, oh, okay. Nathan sees the issue with the dog, and he's telling him to get back, right? So the little brother starts backing away, and I'm like, cool. So I'm starting to calm back down, because I didn't know how Charlie was going to react to him. Because back in the day, I never knew. Because he would act like he would let somebody come up to him. He's just like Penny. Penny's the same exact way. Penny will act like you can pet her, but then she'll go after your hand and try to bite your hand off. Now, he never actually tried to bite anybody like her. She goes ahead and tries for it. But he was just all mouth, okay? Well, anyway, like I said, all of this is in a matter of just a few seconds. All of these thoughts, all of these happenings are just in a matter of a few seconds. And then I turn back to Nathan and I say, hey, how are you? Like nothing has happened, right? And he's just looking ashen. Is that a good word? He's looking ashen. And I was like, what's the matter? He said, I just realized that you're probably armed. I have 2 of them. I said, I'm not armed. And he said, well, you look like you were freaking out. I said, because Charlie don't like kids. I knew who you were, and I knew who he was. Anyway, there was like a whole tense moment of a million thoughts between us, and none of them were matching thoughts. Anyway, Josh saying he wanted to let me know he was coming because he thought I might pew-pew him. I thought it was funny, and it reminded me of Nathan. Please stand by. Moving on. I got my new desk yesterday. I'm sitting at my new desk. Small problem with putting the desk together, okay? Let me go get the directions, here's my desk. Isn't it lovely? Isn't she? I have this large mouse pad because that glass top desk I had required a large gaming mouse pad is what they call them. What you doing? You eating styrofoam? Back up. Are you eating the styrofoam? That's cool. That's where all that just was left last night, because after I got that desk put together, it was already after 10 o'clock, and I was like, I have got to go to bed because I'm about to lose my mind putting this desk together. Let's look at it again. See, it has an upper stand for my monitors and then a lower, and then it has drawers. I got all that put together myself. But I didn't realize these drawers are just that fabric that folds, which is fine because, I mean, it made it easier to put together because I was kind of concerned about the drawers. You know, the pulling mechanism on a drawer is what I was concerned about. And these just, look. And when you pull this thing out, I made the little flappy thing on the top. Look. I had no idea. But what can you expect for less than $200, right? I like the desk and it's put together. Okay, I was told many years ago when I worked in the sheriff's office, at the sheriff's office, I was put on this project. We had this new computer program coming in, and I was a tester of the program, okay? Which just means that I would use that system to book in people, make up names. I mean, I booked in everybody I knew. Well, as I came across errors, I had to write down there was a little number at the top of the page, like a computer number, I don't know. And I had to write down that number, and I had to write down the problem. And I had to be very detailed in the problem so they would know how to fix it, right? Well, the girl that worked for the company said, "You're very good at this. You should go into writing directions." And I'm like, what kind of job do you get writing directions? Well, first of all, we have assembly instructions. All that's fairly clear because they did have the L's and the G's and they had the letters on them. So that makes it easy to begin with. Okay, now this is where it starts getting a little crazy. Step 2. Please carefully browse the different positions indicated by the arrows in the figure to avoid the wrong installation of steel frame D. What? Okay, so here's arrows. Steel frame D. There's no arrows on the steel frame. No, there's arrows on this piece of paper. And when you're looking at this picture, what are these little squiggly lines? I have no idea what they're trying to say to me in this direction, right? Long story short, I did it upside down because what does this mean, right? I'm trying to count the little holes. I don't know. Anyway, but then once I got all the legs put on and the braces at the bottom put on, so I'm putting on the legs and then I'm putting on these braces at the bottom, and then it's time to screw in the shelves, okay? All of a sudden, I'm like, oh wait, there was these special screw holes on one side of that steel frame that needed to be on the top, and they were on the bottom. Yeah. I had to pretty much take everything apart because the legs, the braces had to come off of the legs to get the legs off of the steel brace so I could flip it over. And then it's saying L and M, L and M. It doesn't say which is the front or back. So I just put the 2 L's together and the 2 M's together. I didn't know. I get all the way. And then I have to put this little X brace on, which shows it going on the outside. The holes were on the inside. I was like, that's fine. I'll just put it on the inside. That's cool. It'll still work. Except no, it won't, because those legs are on the front with those special holes. Yeah. So I had the X brace where my knees go. So I took the X brace off and it's laying in there in the floor because I was like, I am not taking this thing back apart to turn those around because it has to come all the way apart. Because I already had the top on and the shelf on before I realized that the X brace was where the drawers go. And there's no writing. There's just pictures. Just pictures, right? Nothing telling you anything. But then you have this thing that says, please use 8 3-screws to install desktop K. Please pay attention to the direction of the hole on side A. After desktop K is turned over, the A1 part should be on the same side as the F, as shown. What? What? Now, why, when they made all these little stickers, didn't they put front, back, left side, right side, up, down? On the things, not on this piece of paper. Because when you're looking at this piece of paper and they all have these little holes in them, but there's holes on the other side too. So, and then these things, these little things, they actually kind of look like H's, fancy H's, when you see them in person. See? Okay, it says to do it this way or this way. Or? What's the difference? Why is it an or? I need you to tell me one way to do it. Because is there one way better? Well, these would only go in one hole. They weren't long enough to go in the second hole. So they're in one hole on this shelf. But then when you flip the shelf over to put it in the desk, it does fit on the holes on the desk, which is the important part. I'm sitting here putting this thing together. Or. Really? Or. Yeah, do this way or this. This or this. Now I get this because this is either put your shelves on the left side and one shelf on the right, or put your 2 shelves on the right side and one on the left, whatever. So I get that one because that's more how you want it set up. So I get that, but when you're actually putting something together and it says or, you have this or this. I don't understand that. I mean, I get that your H is facing a different way, but they fit either way. I mean, maybe that's what they're saying, but why not just say, have all your, I'm calling them H braces. I don't know what else to call them, but have all your H braces going the same way instead of or, okay? And then we have the drawers that we unfold and put the thing in. But they're actually quite sturdy. I mean, they really are. I'm impressed because I'm going to tell you, I was a little disappointed when I opened that, when I noticed or realized that my drawer was foldable. It's put together. It looks lovely. Maybe that H brace isn't necessary. I don't think this very large mouse pad is necessary, but I'm going to keep it for a while because it's pretty and it's a mouse pad. And it's nice because it gives you a nice surface to write on because it's, you know, a mouse pad is squishy. Isn't it pretty? They're called gaming mouse pads. You can look them up on Amazon and they're different prices. And they have all different designs. So if you find one and you click on it, then you'll have about 20 other options. But then you can go back out and find another one and click on it, and they have like 20 different options on it. So anyway, I like this one because it's got my teals and my blues and my golds in it that I like. So plus my computer is kind of a minty green that kind of blends because you know that's important for your computer to match your mouse pad. It was not planned really. I mean, it kind of was. Yes, it was. Don't lie, Tracy. Anyway, that's it for now because I think it's 8 o'clock. Anyway, that's that. Y'all have a great day. Remember, I love you. Jesus loves you. I hope he's coming back soon because people be crazy. And I will talk to you later. Okay, goodbye.